Let me guess, there's something that you've been telling yourself that you're gonna do when you feel better. You'll start going places again when the anxiety settles down. You'll get back into the gym when you're not so worried about your heart rate. You'll travel when you feel more confident. You'll stop checking your body when the symptoms finally disappear. You'll start living normally again when you feel normal. I did the exact same thing. But there's a question that I wish somebody would have asked me. What if ready isn't coming? Not because you're doomed or you're incapable of recovering, but because what if you're waiting for results before you're willing to do the thing that creates it? Think about that. You're waiting for confidence before doing the things that builds confidence. You're waiting to feel safe before you're giving your brain experiences that teaches it safety. You're waiting for anxiety to disappear before showing yourself that you can function while you're anxious. It's backwards, and I spent way too much time doing it. So today, I'm not going to tell you how to feel ready. I'm going to explain why you might not need to feel ready first.
Okay, let's go.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Anxious to Alpha. We're in week 2 of Pillar 6, exposure over avoidance. Last week, we talked about something that I call the anxiety tax. The little pieces of your life that anxiety takes every time avoidance wins. This week, I want to talk to you about a phrase that lets that happen. Not yet. Because no sounds permanent, but not yet, that feels responsible. I'll do it eventually. I just need another week. I need to get this anxiety under control first. And that's how you can spend 6 months standing at the starting line while convincing yourself that you're making progress. Actually, I want you guys to do something with me right now. Think of one thing that you've been putting off because of anxiety. Got it? Now finish this sentence here. I will do it when blank. Seriously, fill in that blank. When I stop feeling dizzy, when my heart feels normal, when I'm less anxious, when I sleep better, when I have somebody with me, when I know that I won't panic. Whatever your answer is, I want you to ask yourself, who decided that that had to happen first? Because that question screwed with me when I first started thinking about it. Who told me I needed to feel confident before I could do something? Who told me that anxiety needed to be at a 2 before I could go somewhere? Who told me that I couldn't be uncomfortable and still have a good day? A lot of those rules weren't medical rules. They weren't physical limitations. They were rules that anxiety created. And I had been following them without ever questioning them. And we need to start questioning those. Here's the messed up part about anxiety. It moves the goalpost. Let's say that you tell yourself, I'll go when I feel 80% better. Eventually you have a decent day, you're feeling pretty good, but then anxiety goes, yeah, but you didn't sleep very well last night. Okay, then let's try tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, oh, but your stomach feels a little weird. Okay, let's try next weekend. Next weekend comes, then anxiety tells you, oh, but it's pretty far from home. Bro, at some point, you have to realize you're negotiating with someone who doesn't want the deal to happen. That's what anxiety is. You keep presenting evidence, but anxiety keeps finding another technicality. And if your requirement for living is I must feel completely safe first, anxiety is going to keep you waiting forever, because anxiety's entire job is to find uncertainty. I used to think that the goal was to feel normal, and that was one of the biggest mindset changes that I've had. I used to judge everything based off of how I felt. Did I feel dizzy? Did my heart feel weird? Did I feel anxious, detached? Did I feel tired, or do I feel normal? And if the answer was no, I'd change what I was doing. But think about what happens when you live like that. Your feelings become the boss. Every morning, you're basically waking up and asking your nervous system, so what are we allowed to do today? Feeling good? Awesome, we can live. Feeling weird? Everybody cancel the plans. And eventually, I got tired of letting a sensation determine the size of my life. If you struggle with anxiety, I want you to try something for me. Instead of asking, do I feel ready? Ask, is this actually unsafe? Those are very different questions because something can feel uncomfortable without actually being dangerous. You can feel nervous walking into a crowded restaurant. You can feel your heart beating harder during an exercise or anxious driving somewhere unfamiliar. Feeling uncomfortable doesn't automatically mean stop. Sometimes it just means you're uncomfortable. And for somebody that struggles with anxiety, that distinction is massive. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you to ignore genuine danger, medical restrictions, or actual health problems. Just use common sense. We're talking about situations you already know you've been avoiding primarily because of anxiety. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Let's say that you finally do it. You go somewhere you've been avoiding, and halfway there, your anxiety shows up. Heart starts pounding, hands are sweaty, your stomach drops, and immediately your brain says, see, we shouldn't have done this. But wait, why does anxiety showing up mean that anxiety was right? That's like a fire alarm going off because you burned toast and saying, see, the house really was on fire. No, the alarm just went off. That's it. This is something exposure research has helped change in the way psychologists think about progress. The goal isn't necessarily, I did the thing and felt absolutely no anxiety. An important goal is learning something new. Maybe you predicted, if I panic, I won't be able to handle it. And then you felt panic, you were uncomfortable, you hated it, but you stayed. You got through it. You came home. Nothing magical happened. Except now your brain has information it didn't have before. Apparently I can feel this and keep going. That's what progress is. Not, I felt amazing, but I didn't need to feel amazing. I got through it. So I want to give you guys something a little different this week. Don't try to be confident. Don't hype yourself up in the mirror. Don't tell yourself, I'm an alpha, nothing scares me. That's not what we're doing here. I want you to run an experiment. Pick something small that you've been waiting to feel ready for. Before you do it, write down exactly what anxiety predicts. Not, it's going to suck. Be specific. Say, I think I'll panic and I have to leave. I think my heart rate will scare me and I'll stop. I think I'll get dizzy and won't be able to handle it. I might embarrass myself. Then collect data. That's it. You're not trying to prove anxiety wrong. You're not trying to force yourself to feel calm. You're just curious. Let's see what actually happens. That mentality changes everything because now anxiety can come with you. You don't have to defeat it before leaving the house. Fine, come on, get in the truck. We're going anyways. What if anxiety was right? Now here's something that people don't usually say in motivational videos. What if you do get anxious? What if you do panic? What if the exposure is uncomfortable? Doesn't that improve that anxiety was right? No. Go back to the prediction. If the prediction was, I'll feel anxious, well, yeah, you're gonna feel anxious. You're doing something that you're anxious about. That's not exactly Nostradamus. The important prediction is usually underneath it. I won't cope, I'll lose control, I'll have to escape. But that's what we're testing. Maybe you did panic, but you didn't run. Maybe you got dizzy, but you continued to shop at that mall. Maybe your heart pounded, but you finished the workout anyways. Maybe you needed 5 minutes, but then you continued. That experience can still teach you something extremely valuable. Here's another challenge that I want to introduce to you guys. For small, safe things that you've already decided that you want back in your life, when you catch yourself saying, I'll do it when I feel ready, give yourself 24 hours to make one move towards it. Not necessarily completing the whole thing, but one move. If you're afraid of going back to the gym, just pack your bag. If you're afraid of driving away, choose the route. Been avoiding dinner with your friends? Send the text message. If you want to travel again, just look at flights. The goal is to break the endless waiting cycle, because action creates information. Waiting just creates more waiting. And this goes way beyond anxiety. This is where I realize this lesson applies to almost everything. How many people say, I'll start working out when I feel motivated? I'll start a business when I'm confident. I'll start dating when I feel better about myself. I'll change my life when I'm ready. You know what I've learned? A lot of things that I'm proudest of, I started while feeling completely unprepared. Hell, even this channel. Imagine if I waited till I was perfectly comfortable speaking on camera, until every video was perfect, until I knew that people would watch. Anxious to Alpha wouldn't exist. Sometimes you become the person capable of doing something by doing it poorly first. That's what training is. That's the gym. That's business. That's confidence. And sometimes that's anxiety recovery. Imagine walking into the gym and saying, I'll start lifting once I'm strong. That would be ridiculous. Lifting is how you get strong. I'll start running when I'm fit. Running is part of how you get fit. So why do we do this with confidence? I'll start living when I'm confident. Living is how you build confidence. You don't need a reward before doing reps. You just need the reps. This week, I just want 1 rep. That's it. Not a transformation, not some insane exposure, just 1 rep. Something anxiety has made you postpone because you didn't feel ready. Do 1 safe, manageable piece of it. And afterwards, don't just immediately ask yourself, was I anxious? Ask, what did I learn? Maybe you learned that I was uncomfortable but capable. Maybe it was the anxiety was worse beforehand than during it. Maybe you actually enjoyed yourself. Or maybe that was hard and you need a smaller step. That's all information. We're learning, we're training, and we're moving. So the next time that your brain says not yet, ask yourself why. What exactly are you waiting for? 0 anxiety? Perfect confidence? Complete certainty? A guarantee that nothing uncomfortable is going to happen? Because if that's the price of admission, you might spend your entire life waiting outside. You don't have to wait until you're fearless or your body feels perfect. You don't need anxiety to give you permission. You just need 1 rep, 1 decision where you say, I don't feel ready, but I'm capable of starting. There's a massive difference. And maybe after enough reps, you'll realize that the feeling you spent all that time waiting for was being built every time you moved without it. That's confidence, not the absence of fear, evidence that you can move with it. This week, stop waiting. Get 1 rep. And if you're doing it with Anxious to Alpha, comment, I don't need to feel ready. Then after you do it, come back and tell me what happened. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, if you control your mind, you control your life. I'll see you next week.
Drop!